Okay, cool. So this is part 2 of the 0 to 60 terminal monopoly development guide. In this video, I intend to show you how to, I had it pulled up a second ago, how to sync your remote repository, pull onto the main branch, rebase your development branch, rebase your main branch, and then push using your main branch, and then of course contribute and create a pull request. And let me plug in my computer. But basically, this is the second half of making your contribution. Once you've made all the changes you want to make, and actually in video 3, we worked on the deed viewing issue. Once you've made all your changes and it's ready to be submitted to the actual code base and you've tested it a lot on your own, and it fulfills all the unit test requirements that it needed to pass, then you can actually submit it to the code base and contribute. This video will show you how to do that. Excuse me. So let's do it. It's actually really not that bad. And if you've been following good practices so far, then it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Especially if you've been constantly like polling and keeping your code up to date, then you won't have much of an issue with merge conflicts, the worst thing ever. All right, so basically, you'll go to your remote repository. Here I am. And your branch might not be up to date with main on UFOC remote repository. So then you're going to press sync, and there will be a button that allows you to sync. Now, if you've already pushed changes, you might have to discard them to let you sync, or you can just press the sync button. There's a couple of different options there, and I might make a video that's specifically about merge conflicts, but this video is not covering that because I just don't have that opportunity right here. All right, so I don't have to sync. And then I'll go back to my local repository. I'm going to, first of all, you can check out source control. You see all these things here. But real quick, I'm going to git check out main. And then I'm going to git pull. Already up to date. Again, if there were any changes that you had synced here, git pull would have taken those changes and then added them to this main branch. Great. Now, that's why we're using a main branch, because our main branch should always be up to date, or mostly up to date. Anyway, our main branch should not be changed until we're ready to pull changes from the remote repository or push our changes to the remote repository. Our main branch should work, though, and it should be like functional. Keep your main branch functional. Your development branch can be where all the messes happen, but you should always be able to have a working main branch whose source control graph looks very similar to the main UFOC's source control graph. All right, so we pulled onto our main branch. Again, we are up to date, so we don't have anything to worry about. Sometimes you'll have changes, though, and sometimes this is where a merge conflict will happen, which you'll have to resolve. So now we're going to rebase our development branch. So we are going to git checkout dev. And something you saw in the first video was us actually committing. I'm going to commit here again because I haven't committed these changes. That is, I haven't saved these changes. I'm going to look through them. All right, so I got deed viewer, and in the third video of the series, we actually take on this deed viewer thing. You're going to notice here that this is all unimplemented, and the way we solved the problem was actually not using this function. So I'm going to discard this change because I'm not going to use deed viewer. And it's telling us here, are you sure you want to delete this file? It's irreversible. It'll be forever lost, and they're very serious in caps here. That's okay. We don't want to use deed viewer. All right, so it's gone. Let's get that out of here. Now we can review our changes by clicking on the file. You can see the green means we added, and you can see there's these little plus signs. We added these lines. Cool. Player, we can see our changes here. That's all expected. Red indicates we deleted lines though. And you remember in the third video, we did delete that length check, and we deleted the old line. Monopoly, we had added our get deed functions, update status, yep. And in fact, right here, I'm going to remove this redundant line like that. All right, save that. Modules, we have deed. I'm also going to remove this unnecessary ret val. This is like, you shouldn't really be doing your changes right here, but it's a good place where you can see your changes. All right, deed. Yeah, so this is all accurate. And then banker, we have our changes in banker as well, where it's doing its banker stuff. All right, so now we're going to commit. And again, on LibBus computers, I had an issue before. In video 3, you'll see that. But I'm going to press commit. It's telling me there are no staged changes to commit. Would you like to stage all your changes? Yes, because that's going to do the git add dot command. It's just adding all of our things to the staging area. And then it pulls up my commit edit message file. This is how I like to do it. So what we're doing here is we're doing, now is this a feature or an enhancement? If we review our issue, deviewing a terminal mode, I would say that this is a feature. So we're gonna do feature, colon, and then deed viewing in terminal mode. That's fine. I mean, it's exactly what we're doing. So that's a good title. And in my description, what I like to do, especially on like big commits, is click through each of my files and actually describe the change in each file. It's not that significant for each file because there isn't that much to talk about. So we'll just add a bit of a longer description to describe exactly what we're doing. Yeah, and I'll be right back to write that. Okay, so I have my title, and then all the lines following the title can be as long as you'd like. But again, you want to keep this title to a certain number of characters. You see how they turn red right here. All right. So adds a new command to view the deed of a property in the terminals mode. Adds implementation with banker.py to allow access to the board information. Again, this is stuff we talked about in that third video. And then I added a to-do for myself because this is just a commit message. If you want to add to-dos, that's helpful. It's for your own sake and for other programmers who potentially pick up your commits after you. Finish styling and add information to the deed, because when we saw it, I don't know if you caught it, but you can see it's not totally clearing that screen. So there's a little bit more work to be done. Maybe we'd like center this as well and add some art. There's a bit more to do for sure. All right, and I'm done with this. I'm going to close the commit edit message. I want to save changes, and then you'll see right there all our files vanished because they were added as a new node. And you can see our description here as well. All right, so we committed. Now we're going to rebase our development branch against main. So let's do rebase, git rebase main. What this is doing is it's essentially just merging main onto dev, which is very important because it'll get us back up to date. There's no changes here. Again, this is potentially where a merge conflict could happen as well. So you'll need to resolve it. And then we're going to git check out main. And again, we're going back to main. If I close all this stuff, going back to main, you can see that the node, the commit we just made, is gone. So we're going to git rebase dev. And it's doing the same thing but backwards, and now added our feature commit to main. All right, cool. So now all we have to do is push. Same button as here. Sync is just going to push and pull. I'm going to do, git push. And it looks good. And if you're ready to actually contribute, you can refresh your remote repository. It says this branch is one commit ahead. And then you'd press contribute. And it's going to say open pull request. And it has the same title and everything. Adds a new command, yada, yada, yada. This is, because there was only one commit, it has the most, it has all the information from there. And you can see it all appears here as well. I like how it looks, although, to be honest, I'm going to add more commits to this. But I'm just showing you how to do a PR right here. So I'm going to create pull request. And boom. You'd be done at here. I would go ahead and... oh, actually, there's one more thing. Sorry. I think I can add it down here, or I can edit my PR. I'm gonna say, hang on, cancel. I'm gonna edit the title and say fixes 97, because 97 is the number of the deed. Now you always want to add this because what it's gonna try to do is, well, I think if you do it at the right time before you submit it, it's going to, hang on, sorry. Let me just check. Let me just add it here. Fixes 97. Yeah, see, okay. So what it did, once I edited that, is it added right down here in development, Successfully merging this pull request may close these issues. Deed viewing terminal mode. And if you click on deed viewing terminal, if you click on deed viewing in terminal mode, you can see that it also added Atom link to pull request that will close this issue. So you want to link your pull requests to an issue because when your pull request gets accepted into the code base, it'll just automatically close that issue, which is one less thing to worry about. And then we have fewer issues on the issue page, which is good. But yeah, that's basically it. That's how you make a contribution. I think, yeah, this isn't a really difficult part of the process. The difficult part is merge conflicts, which I do think deserve their own video. But I don't have time to do that right now because I'm going to casual coding. So I hope to see some of you there. Cool. Yeah.